The final items regarding the sales tax bill, go through the process here so everybody's familiar with it. Obviously, the blank space issue was brought up to us. We kind of felt that was not necessarily an issue, but in their review of the bill and amending that blank space issue, they did find a section of the bill where the reduction of property taxes is not in line with the way it could reach the constitutional purposes. So for that reason, the LRS has rewritten the bill. This is not the copy. I thought we had the revised version, but this is not yet the revised version. My understanding is that it removes the property tax portion out of that and takes the blank space out. We'll have to look at how that blank space is written. But in going forward, I wanted the Commission's thoughts on the property tax portion. Do we want to continue with that? Again, if we were reword that, it would have to be in a way that we can lower the millage rate, but it has to be across the board for all properties, if I'm correct. So do we want to put that request that be placed back in the bill in that way, that we have the authority to reduce property taxes? We'll find out if we can do it. Again, we choose the millage rate. If they rewrote the other portion, maybe they can write that in a way too, where we choose the millage rate when we pass the resolution. Is that suitable for everybody? And if they say we can't choose the millage rate, then we've got to choose it now. We can have that discussion when the time comes. So do we want to go ahead and pursue that?
Personally, I do.
Okay. Okay. So this
There's
again,
a provision, along with the one that says that the millage rate has to be equal, there's a provision on the process that the commission has to go through to decrease the millage rate. It requires a public hearing.
okay. So I guess that would need to be stated in here as well, right? That in accordance
I
with
would
that.
think so, yes, sir.
Okay.
So the way we had it written, and what I think we were gonna try to do was either drop the ad valorem property tax, vehicle tax completely,
Right.
which would have totaled about $450,000, or we're
Right.
gonna drop 2 mills of real property tax, which would have also equaled roughly that same amount.
So you know, if we choose to keep the same amount, it'd probably be about 1.5 of the millage rate all across, across the board.
So tags would come down and property tax would come down.
Correct.
We couldn't do away with our portion of the vehicle
Right.
tax entirely.
And so what I'd like to do is get with Mr. Porter to rewrite just that portion. We'll send it to them to put it in the bill, and we'll kind of go from there and see how is that suitable, or to add that portion, how we'd like it worded.
What's the total that you're talking about reducing
We would have to set that by resolution. I'd like
after the fact?
Right, I'd like to leave it open to where we can set that amount by resolution, similar to the way we want to set the tax return resolution. Again, if LRS comes back and says no, then we can have a discussion about what we want to go from there. So again, this issue was not brought to our attention until Thursday afternoon, so there was a whole lot of confusion as to what the issue was, and we were being told it was unconstitutional. The portion that was unconstitutional was in fact the portion on the property tax, so again, that caused quite a bit of confusion when we were having those discussions last week. So we'll move forward like that, and once we get a bill back from LRS with those changes, we'll have it prepared, hopefully at some point. If there is a special session, we can move forward to then. If not, then it will be next year. If we want to, if this continues to be what we want to pursue, then we'll have it for them to pursue next year, and probably be in the 2018 election cycle that we get it on the ballot. Any other questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, when did you send that bill to them? Do you remember?
The initial bill was sent, it was sent at least 1 week prior to when it was advertised, when we received it here.
That's approximately 7 weeks.
From today?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, about 7 weeks ago.
I wonder why it took 7 weeks for the LRS to look at it. I just wondering, that's all that.
Any other questions or comments?
question for you.
It
was the change in the sales tax bill that's going to require another public hearing.
Public hearing, it'll have to be advertised again.
Have to be advertised. Right. No need for public hearing.
Are you gonna park over there or gonna park in the shop?
Okay, you talking about reduction of
And we're gonna continue to have a public meeting regardless of whether we're gonna build a place or not.
Right. You talking about reduction of property tax, tag reduction, now is this gonna have an effect on like fire services or school?
Just our portion, just the county portion. The original bill said that we would lower,
Jason, you gotta go.
lower the millage rate, our portion of the millage rate, what we receive,
No, she's not a Jew, no, she.
either totally on vehicles or,
Hey, wait a minute.
I was thinking,
okay. We would remove it either totally on vehicles or we would just remove a portion of it, off of the, like you said, the real property, so land. The problem is the Alabama Constitution requires that any property rate set, any millage rate set is level across the board. So we have to tax automobiles the same that we tax real property, the same that we tax personal property and everything else. So if we go if we lower one by 1 mil, it has to be lowered by 1 mil across the board. So instead of 7.5 mils we're collecting from the county government, we would go to 6.5 mils.
All the, for instance, like the property tax, the auto tag tax, all that is basically has specific uses. So or does that come to the
all those
county
dollars-
commission general fund?
Right, those dollars, now it goes to public road and bridge fund and the general fund, both of which are general fund funds. They can be used for any county purposes. So all millage taxes that we receive, all property taxes that we receive are general purpose dollars.
Okay. All millage tax is property general purpose dollars.
Right.
That includes, I guess what's confusing on this, part of that, of course, goes to schools. But that is,
Yeah, the school has their portion. The school has a 10 mil rate that they receive. That they get their 10 mils. Our 7.5 mils that we receive, every penny of that comes to us for general purposes. So we get 7.5 mils. Schools get 10 mils. The hospital gets 4 mils. Fire departments have 2 mils. So each one of those have their millage rates that go to them for their purposes. City of Scottsboro, I think, is 18 mils, 18.5 mils, something like that. So that's what they get. You put all that together, and it comes to our total millage rate of 30-some, I think, nearly 40 mils. Ours is just 7.5 mils of it, though.
that's what was a little confusing for me. To you, obviously, it's not confusing, but to me, it was a little confusing.
Well, it isn't as much now, but I've been working on it for trying to understand it for a while.
Right, I hear you. Okay, thanks, I appreciate that.